1.5 Scalars and Vectors. So we'll be going over the distinction and then we'll show how to calculate a little bit behind in the next one. So, a scalar is a quantity that revolves around a magnitude. Now that seems a little bit wordy, but all it means is that it's something without direction, and we'll get to that a little bit more in the future or now. Some scalars involve temperature and mass. You don't have temperature in a specific direction, it's just a number. Mass is just a number as well, although it can be in the units grams. If you're using if you're using the metric system. Quantity that deals with direction is a vector. Now the direction of the arrow gives the direction of the vector. A magnitude of a force in SI units is called newtons. An arrow will be a force of 20 newtons is drawn twice. So what does that mean? So let's take and we'll typically use the Cartesian coordinate plane for this. And all we're dealing with is pretty much triangles here. And that's how I memorized it. I mean, I didn't really memorize it. It's pure logic. So we'll draw the negative 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's say we want a vector in 45 degrees. And let's say that we have an acceleration of 2, or square root 2 actually, using some basic trigonometry. So if it's 1 to the unit to the right and 1 unit to the up, then we get 1 squared plus 1 squared and square root of that using the Pythagorean theorem, because it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Then we just square root to get 1 squared plus 1 squared, giving us square root 2. So we have a vector going in square root 2. Now, how do we want to make it so that we get 2 square root 2? Then we just double the vector head. And that's kind of where we get to when adding and subtracting vectors. So here, instead of using a magnitude of force, instead of using a 10 Newton force direction, we're using square root 2, which is the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse will always be the total sum of the vector. These will only be used to calculate the x and y. Now, to add a little bit more context, let's look at it in a mathematical context. If we have 5x, 5 is a scalar quantity. It sums x up 5 times, so there's 5 x's added together. But vectors use the Cartesian coordinate plane, so we would say that this is going at 45 degrees with square root 2 newtons of force. So